Welcome to Spirit Tales by Millie. Do well to watch, subscribe, like, and comment. The Curse of Abavo, Blooded Shadows, and the Gollibe family. The night in Abavo was never truly quiet. Even when the crickets sang and the breeze whispered through the tall palm trees, there was always something else, a breathing, an echo, a hidden sound that didn't belong to the world of the living. The old people used to say, Abavo adihie zu kena bali. The night has no rest in Abavo. And truly, it didn't. For years, the village had become a burial ground for promise, a land where the rich returned only to lose everything. Sons who left for the city with bright eyes and fat pockets came back home with cars and pride, but before their footprints dried on the red earth, misfortune would visit them. Some ran mad. Some died in mysterious accidents on their way back. Some fell sick the moment they reached their city homes, whispering about cold hands and strange dreams until their breath vanished. No one said it aloud, but everyone knew. Abavo was feeding on its own blood. In the heart of the village, by the tall okpoka tree near Udo Market Square, the witches gathered. They called themselves Ndi Mona Chinochicha Bali, spirits that ruled the night. Their laughter was not human, and their joy came from the suffering of others. It was said they bathed in the blood of their own brothers and sisters who prospered, and each time one of them died, the rest grew stronger. Rank was measured in deaths. The more promising souls you destroyed, the higher your seat in their dark council. There was Nuaoji, the one-eyed woman who spoke with serpents. Mama Oginye, whose shadow was said to move even when she slept. And Okwa, the handsome hunter who died years ago, yet was seen every Eke market day, buying gin for unseen friends. They all danced around the Iroko tree that night, chanting softly, their voices crawling like wind on boon. Abavo boanyi, anyi bu abavo, onye baraoba, oga wawa. Then came the Gollibe family. They were not like others. They lived in the city, Asaba side. But every new moon, their father, Papa Gollibe, would drive home with bottles of hot gin and kola nuts. He was a quiet man with a deep voice and a Bible that never left his bag. Each time he reached the family compound, he'd stand before the ancestral shrine, a small, old wooden stand under the udala tree, and say, Eke, ori, aforo, nkwo. Mbenenyo, nde miliweli no jio, nde mon madao. Then he would pour gin on the ground and pray, Chineke, protect my house. Our fathers who knew truth, rest well. No spirit of wickedness shall drink our blood. His children laughed sometimes thinking their father was too traditional for a Christian. But Papa Gollibe always said, to forget where you came from is to walk naked in front of spirits. Even light respects the roots that hold it. When word spread that the Gollibe family would visit Abavo again for the New Yam Festival, the witches grew restless. Mama Ogene hissed, that man is spoiling our air. Every time he pours that gin, our roads close. He must be stopped. But Nwaoje, the one-eyed one, shook her head. It is not the man I fear, it is the song around him. There is something that walks with his shadow. We touch his children, we burn. Still, Okwa the hunter laughed. Let me handle it. No man can step on Abavo soil and go untouched. That night, the witches spread across the village like mist. They whispered to trees, called upon dark rivers, and sent snakes crawling toward the Gollibe compound. But Papa Gollibe was already awake. He knelt with his wife, Mama Adaize, beside the window and prayed in low tones. Any spirit that calls our name in darkness, Holy Ghost fire will answer for us. Eke orie afor nkwo. May the 4 market days guard the gates of our home. Ndin mor, our fathers who feared God, fight with us. The snakes never reach their doorstep. They turn to ash before sunrise. 3 days later, a strange wind swept through Abavo. The palm trees bent low, and the dogs refused to bark. The air smelled of burnt palm oil and iron. It was said that one of the witches had died, Okwa, the hunter. His body was found by the Iroko, his skin blackened, his mouth twisted in a silent scream. The witches hid for days. They didn't understand what had happened, but the elders did. They said, "A clean heart and truth in the mouth can blind the eyes of evil." Papa Gollibe refused to boast. He simply gathered his family and said, "We will build a small church here. Let the name of God echo in Abavo again." And they did. But Abavo does not let go easily. The others came harder. At midnight, Mama Ogane appeared in Gollibe's dream, wearing white and smiling sweetly. "Give me just one thing. Let me taste your child's blood. Then your family will live long." Papa Gollibe woke up shouting, "Jesus!" His breath came in gasps, and the Bible fell from his hands. But when he looked again, his room smelled of burning leaves, and in the corner, a snake slithered away. He grabbed his staff, struck the ground 3 times, and cried out, "Nwo anageri onye wechi." Death does not eat a man who knows his God. By morning, the village heard thunder. It didn't rain, but lightning struck near the Iroko tree and split it in half. The witches wailed that night. The people of Abavo saw shadows running through the forest, some burning, some crying. From that day, the curse began to break. When the rich sons returned home, nothing strange happened. No deaths, no accidents. Some even rebuilt their father's houses, something no one had dared to do in years. The market square brightened again. The masquerades danced freely. And each year when the Gollibe family came back, Papa Gollibe still poured his gin and said with a smile, "Eke ori afonikwa mbenenyo nidimoli genweli ojio nidinmon maya dao." Only this time, the air around him was calm, as if Abavo itself had finally remembered light. And so, when people tell the story of the blooded shadows of Abavo, they end it with one truth. When light walks with respect, even darkness bows. Years passed. The Gollibe family's name became a symbol of deliverance. Their small church under the Udala tree grew into a house of worship that rang with hymns every Sunday. Children who once feared the night now played outside till the moon rose. But peace, as the elder said, never stays without testing its owner. The night of the drum. It began on the night of the Egu Abavo, the annual festival of remembrance. The villagers gathered to dance and thank the spirits for another year without blood. Drums rolled through the square, laughter echoed, and roasted yam filled the air with sweetness. But then, one drum did not sound right. It was deeper, older, as if it came from beneath the earth. Dum, dum, dum. Slow, steady, and heavy like a heart that refused to die. The drummer stopped. Everyone looked around, but no one touched that rhythm. Still, it continued. Papa Gollibe, now older and graying at the temples, stood up slowly. He looked toward the forest edge and whispered, "That is the Oja Ndi Muo, the drum of spirits. It was buried with the old council." His wife, Mama Adatse, clutched her wrapper. "But that drum was never meant to sound again. You sealed it yourself." "Yes," he said, his eyes distant. "And if it beats now, then something beneath Abavo has awakened." The children's dream. That same night, Gollibe's eldest daughter, Amanka, dreamt of a shadow walking through a river of blood. The figure carried a broken calabash and sang softly, "Abavo's debt is not yet paid. The hunter burned, but the queen still waits." When she woke, her bedsheet was damp, smelling faintly of palm wine and clay. Her younger brother, Somadina, woke screaming from his own dream. He had seen their father standing by the Iroko stump, talking to someone who had no face. Papa Gollibe listened quietly when they told him. Then he said, "Not all shadows die when light comes. Some learn to hide inside it." He took his Bible and his old wooden staff, the one that had struck the ground 3 times years ago, and walked toward the remains of the Iroko. The woman in the wind. At the edge of the forest, the wind began to whisper again. It carried laughter, soft, mocking, familiar. Then the air thickened and a white mist formed. From it stepped Mama Ogene, her body half shadow, half smoke. "You thought fire could end me?" she hissed. "I am the wind that feeds on blood, the whisper that never sleeps." Papa Gollibe raised his staff. "You have no place here. Abavo is free." She smiled, her teeth gleaming like moonlit stones. "Free? No. You merely push the darkness deeper. The roots of this land still thirst." Suddenly the ground cracked. From beneath the soil rose the silent drum, old, cracked, and bound with charms. Each beat shook the earth. Doom! 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 The villagers who heard it fell to their knees, clutching their heads. Children cried. Goats ran wild. Papa Gollibe fell too, clutching his chest, his voice trembling. "Jesus, help me hold the gate." Then a voice answered, deep and resonant. "The gate cannot be held by one man alone." From the shadows stepped Amanka, his daughter, holding a small calabash glowing faintly. "You taught me, Papa. Light must learn to stand where darkness stood." She began to sing, a song her father once sang while praying. "Ike, Orie, Afo, Nkwo. Spirits of truth close the road of lies." The ground trembled, the drum faltered. Mama Ogene screamed, her form flickering. "Who taught the child our name? Who gave her the tongue of old?" Papa Gollibe smiled weakly. "Our ancestors did, but now she speaks for a new covenant." The calabash in Amanka's hand burst into flame, white, pure like the morning sun. When she poured it onto the ground, the silent drum split open, revealing bones, not human, but twisted things that hissed and burned to ash. Mama Ogene howled and vanished into smoke, leaving behind a trail of feathers and whispers. Then a new Abavo began. By sunrise, the forest was calm again. The people gathered, finding Papa Gollibe sitting beneath the udala tree, smiling faintly. He looked at his daughter and said, "The torch is yours now, my child. The battle is not just against evil, it is for remembrance. Never forget where the light began." He passed her the staff, old, worn, still warm with prayer. And from that day, Amanka Gollibe became known as the daughter of the drum, the keeper of Abavo's peace. But the elders still whisper. Sometimes, late at night, when the moon hides and the wind turns cold, they say you can still hear a faint sound under the ground. Doom, doom, doom. Not evil, not dark, just a reminder that in Abavo, light and shadow must always dance together.